Hi everybody, John with you. Welcome back to my channel. It's time for the cheap lounge. I have my beverage here. I'm still having some coffee. I invite you to order whatever you want. Order whatever beverage you like and sit down and let's sit here in the cheap lounge and discuss. This is where I talk about cheap lounge records or cheap easy listening records that I have obtained and that I uploaded this week to my easy listening online radio station, hobby radio station called Moody Mood Music, which is on live365.com. Elevator kind of music, old grocery store, call waiting, doctor's office music. You might remember it if you're my age. If you're younger, this might, all this music might be really kind of new to you and not something you've ever had much of an opportunity to hear now. But before we look at the records from this week, I do want to say that I'd never done this before because I thought there just wasn't any interest in it and I didn't really necessarily want to do it. But it seems like lately there have been a lot of questions about different things, and I think that I'm going to do what's called a Q&A video if there's enough interest. So I invite you in the comment section below here to just ask any questions you wanted to know, anything you were curious about me, and it doesn't matter what the subject matter is, you know, either personal, whatever, doesn't matter. I'm pretty much an open book, and if something's I don't want to answer, I'm just not going to answer it. But anyway, you're welcome to put questions in the comment section below, and I'm going to ask this in the next several videos. So if I get enough, or I get enough questions to do one, then I'll do a Q&A video that can be about anything, any subjects you're wanting to talk about, or whatever. Okay, so this week, we start with an album. You probably know this singer. He was really a teeny bopper, like a teen idol kind of a singer. Adults not necessarily interested in his music until this album of his came out in 1959, which then sort of changed everything for him. This is Bobby Darin. The album is That's All. And the songs you probably know him for, that I think we all are probably familiar with, even if you don't know much about easy listening or mood music or whatever. He had the huge hit version of Mac the Knife and a huge hit version of Beyond the Sea, La Mer.
Beyond the sea, she's there watching for me.
You probably know these. Those came from this album. So when those hit the charts, all of a sudden, there was a lot more adult interest in Bobby Darin and adult radio stations and whatnot. So this album is, like I said, for 1959, and I think what really helped Bobby Darin on this was the arranger conductor, who was Richard West. This has really wonderful, like big band sort of type arrangements, big dance band, and I think that really sort of uplifted Darin's performances, to another level.
With all the glow of sunrise, a burning kiss is sealing the vow that all be.
And of course, his career went on for many years, and he did, a number of other albums that continued to still appeal to the young market, but also then it started to appeal to an adult market as well. So, yeah, and we uploaded several selections from this album up onto Moody Mood Music. something that I've been doing on the Moody Mood Music Station. And I don't know if you've listened or you noticed, but every half hour there is a slot that's set aside for new music that's been uploaded somewhere over the past 2 or 3 weeks. So it's also in rotation just regularly, like it will just come up not in that slot, but there is a dedicated slot each half hour to highlight the records that you are seeing on this series, Cheap episodes. So like the past 2 or 3 weeks will be kept in that new song rotation. So you'll have an opportunity to hear them if you're curious. The next record we have, this is from budget label Diplomat. It's a little bit unusual for a budget label, not entirely, but a little bit. It's called Mutiny on the Bounty, or if you go by the label, which on budget labels they're often different, it's called Nicholas Andriano Presents. This is Nicholas Andriano conducting the Film Spectacular Soundtrack Orchestra. Pretty obviously some sort of fictitious name, don't you think? But there's no date on this. But Mutiny on the Bounty came out in this Marlon Brando rendition of Mutiny on the Bounty came out in 1962. So I would imagine this album, cashing in on its success, probably came out in 62 or 63, something around there. Also features just a few other songs. There's not only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like 6 songs on this album. So they're kind of longish, not super longish songs. But typical of some of the cinematic theme music, it's a very grand. I mean, this is not a small combo. This is a full orchestra, and apparently recorded for Diplomat, which, as I said, is unusual. It's not like, as far as I'm aware, any reissue of something else under another name. But yeah, it's very grandiose. All the songs are very grandiose and heralding, and like trumpets and cymbals and chariots entering the Colosseum and that kind of thing. So it's a little bit touch and go for like mood music, but I think some of it I did upload, not everything, but most everything on this album.
Like so many others, I only wanted to hear the latest hits from the dance floor. The thump, 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 the heaving beat and electronic noises. These are what I craved. But somewhere along the line, my mind was changed. Perhaps it was during this coronavirus lockdown. I began to crave the sound of lush string orchestras. The enchanting men crooning to me. The lovely ladies who sing so close to the microphone. The perky, upbeat Tijuana brass. My mind was changed, and I craved the sound of moody mood music on live365.com. It's available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Just visit live365.com and tune into moody mood music. Perhaps it will change your mind.
Okay, next up is a CD, actually, that I've had for a long time. And I'm not sure I even actually listened to this entire CD in all the years that I've had it. I think I don't even remember where I got it. I'm sure I got it at a thrift store, a record store where it was very cheap. I wouldn't have gotten it if it was inexpensive because I didn't really know what it was going to be. It is from 2010. The music on it is older. The originals are older. But this kind of music, I don't know, I always grab these when I see them because they kind of tend to make me laugh. And sometimes there's decent music on it. This is a smooth jazz tribute to the band Gorillaz. Now, if you're like me, who hasn't really followed popular music much in the past 4 decades, that much, I didn't really know who Gorillaz were, and I didn't, this week when I played this thing all the way through and uploaded some selections from it, I didn't really know who they were, but I did recognize a couple of the songs. I'm like, okay, I do know this song. Gorillaz, and it was interesting when I looked it up, the Gorillaz are actually, it's not technically kind of a real band. I mean, it is, but we don't really know, I think, who all the musicians actually are, because it's the creation of a musician and an artist. And it's, what do you call it? Animation. It's animation. So if you look up their videos and stuff, which I did, it's all like cartoon kind of, or comic book sort of animation. And there are like characters in the band that are in all of these videos that are, animated characters. So, I guess they've done collabs with actual artists, and I think they're still around, as I recall. I think seeing something as late as like 2019 or something from them. I don't know. But they were around after this came out in 2010. But some of the songs I recognized, Clint Eastwood, Feel Good, Inc. So I did upload a few songs from this onto Moody Mood Music because they've just taken them, and it's by who's it actually by? The Smooth. Well, the musical artists on the CD are actually as unknown as Gorillaz, but it's this produced and performed by the Smooth Jazz All-Stars, and it does not list who they are. But these are sort of saxophone based, very much kind of like Kenny G sort of interpretations of Gorillaz songs. And if you don't know the songs, it's just like, okay, it's nice, light jazz kind of music. If you do recognize the songs, it kind of, makes you chuckle, because it's not the kind of songs that would usually be given this kind of treatment. So I kind of enjoy it. It's pretty funny. Now, here's a group. This record, this was a $1 record I got not too long ago at the Library of Hawaii sale. Talk about a treasure, that you didn't know anything about before. I just, when I bought it, when I picked it out, I thought, okay, this is just going to be some easy listening vocal group, and great, I need that, that's good. They're called The Singers Unlimited. The album is Try. But I can say these guys are amazing. I was blown away by these guys. They were formed, I believe here it says, one of they were founded by somebody who was part of the Hi-Los. I don't know if you remember them, but they were very well known, like male vocal group, like from the 50s on. And did really tight harmonies, and they were great. Gene Perling was one of the members, and he founded this group later in 1970, something like that, or in the 60s. And they did 1967. Yeah, he founded it, and for the first part of their career, for several years, all this group did was commercials. They didn't record albums like for the radio or for sale or whatever. They strictly did commercials for different companies doing their vocals. And then they recorded, I believe this was the first album, and then there are a few more I've learned. So I'm going to keep my eyes open for the Singers Unlimited, because very impressed with their singing. To me, I don't know if you know these other groups, but they're very much, I would describe them as a cross between, or at an intersection between the Anita Kerr singers, because Anita Kerr, who was one of the singers in the Anita Kerr Singers, they sing very softly, very well pronounced, clearly. Beautiful style to the Anita Kerr Singers. Even when they're doing sort of upbeat, they're still sort of mellow somehow and very relaxing. I would say it's a cross between Anita Kerr Singers and the Swingle Singers, who did mostly, not entirely, but mostly albums that weren't vocal, that didn't have lyrics, that just had them saying ooh, ah, and doo-dah, and la-di-da-di-da, wordless things, but extremely intricate. They did classical music and jazz music and just extremely intricate arrangements and complex harmonies. These guys, the Singers Unlimited, are like the intersection of that to me. They have that really soft, beautiful enunciation, a beautiful softness even to the upbeat songs, and they are very jazz influenced in their arrangements. Very complex. There was a lot of overdubbing in this. I'm just very impressed by these guys. Then finally today, this is a nice 1970 album, very much easy listening fodder. Like, you hear a lot of this kind of music on an easy listening elevator experience. Instrumental, Vincent Bell on the guitar, Airport Love Theme. Airport Love Theme is a beautiful song that came from the film Airport. In the 70s, a very popular tune that was redone by almost every orchestra out there, every instrumentalist out there. It was an instrumental song. Recorded the Airport Love Theme. I even have a couple of Hawaiian versions of it on the steel guitar that are really nice. So very much a thing. Vincent Bell is I think a name that's known, but he doesn't actually have a lot of solo albums. I mean, a few, but he did a lot of work with other orchestras and other bands that he's a member of, and his guitar work is kind of recognizable because he is really the person who developed what they call the water sound of guitar, which I'll put a sample of in here. It's called the water sound. And I think that water sound became a real signature guitar sound of easy listening music in the 70s, and other musicians did it as well, but he is the innovator. He is the person that really came out with that sound, and there's quite a bit of it on this record. I imagine his other ones as well. So yeah, nice record, Vincent Bell. And that's it for today. So I hope you enjoyed that. As I said, you can hear selections from these albums if you want to hear more by tuning into Moody Mood Music, and every half hour, a minimum of every half hour, you will hear selections from one of these records or one of the new Cheap Lounge episodes, the past 2 or 3 episodes. You'll hear every half hour a selection from one of these records or those records. In addition to also just being in the regular rotation, they will pop up as well. So, yeah, thank you for watching. Don't forget to submit any questions if you have any for a Q&A video. I'm open to doing now, so submit those questions below and add your comments. It's always great to hear from you guys. Thank you for watching. It's Tuesday, I'm off work. It's senior discount day, and you know what that means. That means I'm about to hit the road, and I think I'll probably go to Savers. One of our Goodwills is closed down right now. On the Goodwill in Waialae, they're doing a remodel job. I haven't gone there very much in the past year because they hardly ever have any records. They'll have like a meager 2 or 3 sad records that have been there for months. So I haven't been lately. So hopefully when they do this remodel, maybe they'll get back into stocking records at that particular location. Until next time, thank you for watching, and we'll see you guys later.